Hi, I wanted to talk briefly about resilience. I know I've mentioned it in a few posts, but it really is fundamental to the recovery process because resilience is something that we all have in us. We have like physical resilience and we have psychological resilience. And I mean, physical resilience, for instance, is built up from a young age, from exposure to bacteria and viruses and vaccinations. And so it's like there's a feedback system to the brain. It's these are the bad guys. So the brain will create the necessary antibodies and that to help to fight the viruses and infections and that. So that's sort of from the physical point of view, the physical immunity. And of course, it's natural and it's inherent for our survival. And the other side, of course, is the psychological immunity, and that's something that starts from a young age, from like exposure to life's events and everything that happens in our lives. And again, it's based on a feedback system. You experience something, and then you get the feedback to the brain as to how to cope with it, maybe how to cope better with it the next time. So it's kind of a learning curve, and it's a learning curve throughout our lives, not just as children but as adults. Sorry, it's just starting to rain now, but I just wanted to do this video because it is really important, this question of resilience. And the thing with addiction is if people are struggling, if you're watching this, if you're somebody who's struggling with addiction or behavioural addiction or substance abuse, and you might have turned to it because of some difficulty coping skills, the problem is that addiction is actually going to keep you away from that. Trying to get that light on. It actually removes you even more from that immunity. It disconnects you from the natural immunity to life's events. It almost cossets you from it. It protects you. You feel bad, so you turn to the addictive behavior or the substance abuse or whatever the addiction is. So you turn to the addiction for relief, and that's just it's ultimately really not helping, and it just makes matters worse. So that feedback system to the brain of how to deal with life's difficulties is just, it's damaged even more, and you become even more disconnected. So it's so important as part of the recovery process to learn coping skills and to learn to sort of recreate a stronger feedback system. So when you experience these feelings or experience things in your life that are very uncomfortable and cause distress, that you don't necessarily run away from them or run to an addiction, the substance abuse or the behaviour, for relief from that. Sorry, I'm getting that light on. And that's really important to rebuild that. It doesn't necessarily need to take very long either. It takes just awareness and an understanding of why the addiction began in the first place. And that can happen in 1 or 2 sessions of really good, fruitful therapy. Because that's what this is all about. Addiction is a symptom. It's a symptom of an underlying dis-ease, a discomfort, or something that the person is not happy with and they're turning to in their lives to help them cope. But the addiction is just not helping. It's also kind of complicating it and making matters worse. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful. It's absolutely 100% possible to rebuild resilience because it's in everybody, it's in all of us. That natural resilience is there. You've just become a bit disconnected from it. And with a little bit of support and help from the right people, the right place, you can overcome it and learn to deal with life without that addictive behaviour, without relying on substance, whatever it is that you are doing. So do get in touch with me if you want to have a chat with me about how I can help you, because I know that I can. All right, have a great evening. Bye for now.